Have you ever wondered why three disciples of the same guru, inspired by the same truth, choose three completely different paths? Three sadhus in the same forest, under the same tree, with the words of the same guru echoing in their ears, yet their eyes, their goals, their sadhana are so different from each other. Friends, one sadhu is sitting deep inside that forest, lost in his breath, as if he wants to open a door within himself, which will take him beyond the cycle of birth and death. The second sadhu is also there, but his eyes are outside the forest, as if he has resolved to eradicate the suffering of the entire world before his liberation. And the third sadhu, he is surrounded by a mysterious energy, as if he is absorbed in awakening an invisible power within himself with a secret key. All three are disciples of the same guru. Then why do all three take three different paths? Is one of these the truth, or are all three different faces of the truth? Today in this video, we will go on an amazing journey, a journey that will tell us how three incredible traditions, Theravada, Mahāyāna, Vajrayāna, were born from a single teaching of the Buddha. And in this journey, you may also find the path that is meant for your soul. So get ready to know the secret, because the truth is not as simple as we think. Point number one, the core message of Buddha, everything starts from here. This story begins with a man, Siddhartha Gautama, a prince who once lived in palaces, was in luxury, but then one day he set out to find something beyond this worldliness. Wandering, he sat down under a peepal tree with a deep resolve that he would not move from there until he found the truth. Imagine that moment, deep silence all around, just his breath, his heart, and the question arising within him. Why is there suffering? Why is there birth, old age, illness, death in this world? Is it possible to get out of this cycle? Many nights passed, many struggles took place inside, and then a wonderful moment came. Siddhartha's consciousness descended to the depth where the seed of truth was hidden. That was the seed of the Four Noble Truths. What Siddhartha Gautama got under that Bodhi tree was an experience that changed his whole life. He saw that suffering will always be there in this life. Because we are attached, we have desires, we want to hold on to something in a changing world, which is always changing. But he also understood that it is possible to overcome this suffering when we learn to let go of our desire, our holding, when we understand deep within that everything is temporary, like a flowing river. This was the basic message of Buddha, that suffering is the truth of this life, but freedom from suffering is also possible. This message was so simple yet so deep that from this one seed emerged three amazing paths, three huge trees that took different forms, colors, and flowers. Because the seed is one, but the branches, the fruits, the flowers are many. That is why when we look at the paths of Theravada, Mahāyāna, Vajrayāna, we must always remember that their source is the same looking deep inside, the same desire to be free from suffering. The Buddha's universal message knew no boundaries, no caste, no religion, no country. He was just one man in that forest, but the truth he found was for all of us, because all of us, wherever we are today, are experiencing suffering in one form or another, sometimes feeling lost, sometimes fearing the future, sometimes haunted by old wounds. And that is why the Buddha's message is as relevant today as it is now. That if a person can look deep inside himself, understand the nature of his desires and attachments, he has already taken the first step towards liberation. This is the foundation, this is the root from which three great traditions were born, three paths, three journeys, three amazing endeavors that even today call us to go deeper. So when we begin to understand these three schools, always remember that they started from the same tree, from the same truth, from the heart of the same compassionate master, which still exists like a seed within us. Point number two, Theravada. Know yourself, free yourself. Theravada, the word itself evokes a deep feeling, a quiet sense that there is something very old, very true here, the same path that the very first disciples of the Buddha followed. Theravada means the path of the elders. That is, the same path that the early followers of the Buddha followed. Simplicity, discipline, solitude, and deep self-discovery. Imagine you are a seeker sitting in this forest. No grand monastery, no grand guru, just you, your breath, your thoughts, and a small, still voice coming from deep within you, saying what you are looking for is not outside, but within. This is the beginning of this path. The main basis of Theravada is the Pali Canon, the ancient words that are directly linked to the teachings of the Buddha. This path has a great emphasis on meditation, discipline, and vigilance. Its message is that suffering is the truth of this life. Suffering which arises from our desires, our grasping, our changing emotions. But getting out of this suffering is also within our reach, if we can muster the courage to just look at it. This path does not depend entirely on any guru, but depends on how deeply you want to recognize the fears of your mind, your habits, your idealism. Think how many times it happens that we keep running away from our suffering, in some relationship, in some work, in some distraction. But have you ever stopped, just looked inside, paying attention to your breath? Have you ever asked yourself, can I meet my pain, understand it, just accept it? This is the depth of this path. Here no one will give you solutions, but on this path you are taught to go within, make friends with your restlessness, and see it change. That is why Theravada has a deep practice like Vipassana, a meditation in which we simply watch our breath, our body sensations, our thoughts, our emotions, all as a witness. In this process, we gradually begin to understand that suffering will not remain with us forever, because nothing is permanent, neither our happiness nor our sorrows. And as our recognition of this truth deepens, the fear, the worry, the anxiety that breaks us from within weakens. Walking on the path of Theravada, a practitioner acquires an amazing power through his discipline, meditation, vigilance, and depth to recognize his thoughts, change his habits, and walk alone on the path of liberation. In this path, you have to create a resolution within yourself that I have to take responsibility for my own liberation. No one else will take me across, but my efforts will become my boat. And think, in today's fast-paced life, where there are distractions everywhere, where everyone has to rush, how perfectly the simplicity of this ancient path fits. Just to stop, sit, pay attention to the breath. Watch the thoughts come and go, and slowly go beyond those thoughts. This is Theravada, a quiet, deep, and personal path, which teaches us that our freedom is our own, within us. We just have to recognize it, nurture it with our own discipline, and take this inner journey one step at a time with our own experience. So have you ever asked yourself, am I ready to walk this path? Can I take responsibility for my own liberation? Because if yes, Theravada will take you to a depth where not only the causes of suffering become clear, but with just a simple, careful, and sincere effort, the way out of that suffering also becomes just as clear to you. Point number 3, Mahāyāna, I have to cross everyone, only then I will be free. Mahāyāna, a path that teaches us that our liberation is not only ours, but that of the whole world. It means Mahāyāna, that is, a greater vehicle. Walking on this path, a deep feeling is born within us, a feeling of compassion, a true, deeply felt love, which arises from the belief that we are all connected to each other. Imagine the moment when you have ever hugged a sad person, wiped the tears of a friend, extended a helping hand to a stranger. Have you ever felt that in that moment, when you join in someone else's pain, something changes within you too? That change is the real soul of Mahāyāna. Walking on this path, a seeker understands that my liberation lies in lifting others up. This path says that as long as there is even one being in this world surrounded by suffering, my liberation is incomplete. That is why the vow of the Bodhisattva in Mahāyāna is so important. That great vow that I will not enter nirvana until I take every single being on this earth to the door of that liberation. Can you feel this depth? A heart that beats not just for itself, but for everyone. That is the real beauty of this path. In Mahāyāna, there is an understanding that we are all connected like a thread in the fabric of this existence. No one is alone. No one is separate. We are waves flowing in the same current. That is why the path emphasizes love, compassion, tolerance, coexistence. Because when I support someone, share someone's pain, bring a smile to someone's face, I am actually opening a door within myself. Through that door, a deep peace, an invisible fullness descends. Think about it. Have you ever held a broken soul? Maybe a friend, a family member, or just a stranger? What did you find in that moment? Didn't you feel at that moment that you too had found something you had lost? This is what Mahayana teaches us. Not to run away from the suffering of others, but to embrace it, to understand it deeply so that our compassion becomes a strength to bear that suffering. Mahayana is therefore a path of collective awakening, a path that tells us that true liberation is only achieved when we cross this deep ocean together, supporting each other. Walking on this path, you realize that in the true depth of life, there is no me and you, there is only we. So have you ever wondered how much relief your actions, your words, your efforts in this life can bring to someone else? Have you ever felt a surge of love within that inspires you to make this world a better place? If yes, then perhaps Mahayana is the path that is closest to your heart, a path that invites you to become a hope, a support, a path not only for your own liberation, but for every single being in this world. This is Mahayana, a path soaked in compassion, overflowing with love, that teaches us that our true strength lies in realizing that we are not alone, and that when we walk this path together, something inside changes forever. Point number 4, Vajrayāna. Go straight to the core, even if the path is difficult. When we listen to this word, Vajrayāna, carefully, it feels as if a secret energy is awakening within us. Vajra means an unbreakable, fast and firm path, which goes deeper than ordinary paths. A path that connects you to your true center, where words, forms, fears, inhibitions, everything just turns to ashes and only one thing remains: your real, infinite consciousness. Imagine a sadhak who walks on this path. He is not doing any external rules or superficial practices, but he is going straight inside his consciousness where the ego sits, where those old habits, fears, conflicts are hidden in our depths. On this path, he confronts these depths, awakening an invisible power within himself, together with the guru, through the esoteric practice of tantra, mantra, mudra, visualization, sadhana, and energy. Vajrayāna is a guru-disciple tradition, where the guru is the key, the bridge that connects you to that secret within you, glimpses of which we sometimes get in meditation, sometimes in deep dreams, but we are unable to grasp. On this path, the guru takes you deep down with a safe hand so that you meet that energy, learn to tolerate it, learn to change it. And in this process, you slowly understand that true change does not happen on the surface, but within you, where you have to let go of fear, ego, old identity, everything. Have you ever felt that moment when you feel that clinging to the old I is just exhausting you? Have you ever thought that if once you let go of this I, that ego, that identity, which you always believed in, then what will be left inside? Would you like to go deep down, where there are no limits, no fear, just a wonderful pure energy and absolute freedom? Vajrayana is therefore the path of a brave person, because walking it is far beyond any comforting idea. Here you have to embrace the darkness within you, abandon your old self, and be born anew from the power that has always been sleeping within you. On this path, the Guru's indications, secret mantras, special practices, all together take you to a depth from which it is not easy to return, because when you return, you are not the same as before. Descending into this depth is like jumping into a raging fire, where your old limitations, your fears, your inhibitions burn in this fire, and you emerge from within in a new form, radiant, free, calm, like a thunderbolt. Vajrayana is therefore not just a sadhana, but a profound transformation, a path where energy has to be awakened, handled in the presence of the Guru. It has to be guided so that it can awaken a new light within. In the process, the seeker understands that true liberation is achieved when we let go of our ego completely, when we start trusting the power within us that has always been there. We just need the courage to find it. So are you ready for that courage? Are you ready to go that deep where you have to let go of your ego completely so that only pure consciousness remains? Are you ready to walk on this path where, with the help of the Guru, with the help of secret teachings, you overcome your fears and witness a new birth? Within yourself, within yourself. Remember, Vajrayāna shows you the way to go within, to change within, and to rise from within with a miraculous energy. Walking on this path is a deep transformation, an invisible journey. But at the end of this journey, you find the true, deeply illuminated truth that we all seek at some point in our lives. Point number 5, comparison. Which path matches your inner voice? Now that you have met these 3 great paths, Theravada, Mahayana, Vajrayana, one by one, pause for a moment. Think deeply. Is one of these paths true and the others not? Do you have to choose only one path? Or can all 3 paths accompany you in some form on this journey of life? That is the real beauty of this video, that if you look deeply into these 3 traditions, you will find not a conflict, but a wonderful harmony. The 3 schools are not rivals, but 3 different doors that open into the temple of the same truth. Theravada teaches us that to be free from suffering, first of all, we have to go within, understand our breath, our thoughts, our emotions. Mahāyāna tells us that we are not alone in this journey. Our liberation is complete when we take others along the path, when we are filled with compassion, not just for ourselves, but for the whole world. And Vajrayāna wants to give us the courage to see if we can go beyond our fears, our egos, our limitations, and go deeper, where energy and consciousness meet to reshape us. These 3 paths are actually 3 ways of life, 3 perspectives, that teach us how the Buddha's message can be lived out in so many different, so beautiful ways. 3 branches from the same seed, which one you choose to sit on today depends on your inner calling. Think about your own life. Have you ever felt like you just needed to stop for a while and focus on your breath to get out of the noise of the mind? In that moment, you are closest to Theravada. Have you ever felt a deep satisfaction in embracing a sad friend, sharing in his tears, as if you have earned a small merit in that moment? Then you are close to Mahayana. Have you ever felt a hidden courage, an invisible energy awakening from within, as if you are getting the strength to break your limits, to go beyond your fears, to let go of your ego? That is the moment when Vajrayāna comes alive within you. All 3 paths help us in different ways, at different moments. Today you have to go within, then the discipline of Theravada will support you. Tomorrow you have to join someone in grief, then the love of Mahayana will connect you deeply. The day after tomorrow, you have to break your limits and awaken the power within. Then the hidden energy of Vajrayāna will be with you. This is the beauty of Buddhist teaching, that his path does not divide us, but unites us. We are all seekers of a greater truth, coming from the same deep source. Only our paths take on different colors so that we can reach closer to that truth from our own depths. So now the question is, today, at this very moment, which path resonates more within you? Do you want to sit quietly and meet yourself? Do you want to compassionately enter into someone else's suffering? Or are you ready to awaken a hidden power within to transcend your ego, your limitations? Remember, all 3 paths are open to you. All you have to do is listen deeply within, recognize that true calling of your heart, and then take the first step in that direction. Because whichever of these 3 paths calls to you today, that is the right one for you at this very moment. That is the one that will take you closer to the liberation that we all seek in our lives. Point number 6, the role of the 3 paths in modern life. Have you ever stopped in this fast-paced life and asked a question? Why is there so much restlessness in our lives today? Why do we feel empty inside despite being so busy? Why do we sometimes feel that no matter how much success we get, there is no peace deep inside? In today's age, where things like stress, depression, anxiety, distance in relationships, worry about the future have become a part of our daily routine, this is exactly the time when Buddha's 3 paths are ready to help us. Theravada teaches us to pause first. There is a depth in this path, a simplicity that binds today's scattered mind into a rhythm. Imagine that moment when you step out of the noise of this world for a moment. Just focus on your breath. Dare to look at the thoughts coming and going inside you without fear. This is the essence of Theravada. Acknowledge your suffering, your anxiety, your insecurity, understand it, and then slowly let it go. In a time when everything from our screens to our thoughts is fast, busy, and scattered, Theravada shows us a slow, quiet, deep path. One where you learn to sit within yourself so that the outside world cannot sweep you away. Mahayana teaches us to live for others, not just ourselves in a fast-paced life. In a time when our relationships are becoming superficial, when we are lost in our own pain, Mahayana connects us deeply to the truth that our true liberation is not just ours, but that we are all interconnected. Have you ever truly hugged someone who is hurting, taken time to support someone, helped a stranger, and got a genuine smile? Mahayana tells us that true happiness comes when we share love, compassion, and kindness in this world. Today, in this modern age, when everything is centered on I and mine, Mahayana teaches us that true happiness comes when we transform into we. And then comes Vajrayāna, a path that can help us most deeply in today's age, going deep within, recognizing our energy, transforming it. How many of us are tired of our old habits? How many people want to change within, but do not know where to start? Vajrayāna tells us that change does not happen on the surface. Change has to be done by going deep within. When we stop running from our fears, when we embrace our shortcomings, our insecurities, a miracle begins. An energy awakens within, a courage is born, and begins to take us beyond our limits. The message of Vajrayāna is hidden within us in today's modern age as a secret power. We just need the determination to find it. These three paths, Theravada, Mahayana, Vajrayāna, give us three beautiful keys to today's busy, stress-filled life. Theravada teaches us to sit alone so that a depth can arise within. Mahayana teaches us to live for others so that love can expand in our hearts. Vajrayana teaches us to go deeper so that we can transcend our limitations and awaken the power within. Three paths, three approaches, but the goal is the same, a life full of depth, peace, love, and awakening. So today, this very moment, ask your heart, which of these three paths is calling you right now? Do you want to pause, return to the breath? Do you want to open your heart to support someone with compassion? Or do you want to go within yourself to transform your fears and be born with a new courage? Whatever path calls you today, take a small step on it, because that very step will take you to the depth you may have always been searching for. Point number 7, warning and wisdom. There is no path without depth. Friends, when you start walking on these beautiful paths, whether it is Theravada, Mahayana, or Vajrayāna, then one deep truth must always be remembered. In these paths, just swimming on the surface is not enough. Just understanding some things superficially, reading some books, doing some sadhana, cannot take you to that depth, where the real change happens. Rather, swimming on the surface sometimes confuses us because we think that we have known the truth, while we are just standing on the shore of that ocean. In today's age, where information is just a click away, many people hastily grab some esoteric words, some beautiful thoughts, some superficial practices, and think that they have touched that depth, which takes years for sadhaks to attain. But this is the moment where a warning is necessary, that by walking on these paths with incomplete knowledge, instead of going deeper, we give birth to a new restlessness within. Buddha himself had said that walking on the path is a slow, conscious, and firm process in which you have to stop, understand, feel. Because without depth, without true discipline, without the guidance of a guru, walking on these paths will give a momentary thrill, but will not be able to start a deep change from within. This is why a guru is necessary. A guru is not just a person, but that invisible power that safely takes you to those depths where you can never go yourself. A guru is like a lighthouse for you. When the darkness deepens inside, the guru shows you the way, tells you at what moment to stop, at what moment to move forward, At what moment to handle the energy? Only after going through the experience of a guru do you come to know that sadhana is not just a technique, but a process that transforms you deeply. And in this process, patience is the bridge that takes you from the surface to the depth. Today, where we want immediate results, where our habits teach us to get everything in one go, these paths teach us that true change happens gradually. By bringing awareness to each breath, each thought, each emotion, the layers that have settled inside have to be removed so that a new light can emerge in the depth. So always remember, if you want to enter any path, then enter with respect, enter with complete dedication, enter under the guidance of the Guru. Because in these paths, you do not have to just gather information, but assimilate it. Do not just roam on the surface, but go inside. Do not just understand the idea, but implement it in life. Walking without depth is just a beautiful looking surface, but walking with depth is such a journey that changes you from within. In this journey, sometimes you will feel fear, sometimes hesitation, sometimes you will feel that you are losing your old identity. But this is the real miracle of this sadhana. When old fears, old egos, old beliefs start to crack, then that true energy, that true consciousness is born within, which has always been waiting inside you. So today, take this thing deeply in your heart. There is no hurry in these paths. There is no superficial path. Here a guru is needed. The power of patience is needed. The courage to go deep is needed. And if you really want to walk on this path wholeheartedly, then always keep this understanding within you that without depth, the path is not found. But when it is found, that very depth changes you, gives a new birth within you, and takes you closer to the truth that you have always been searching for. Buddha sowed a small seed, which in time gave birth to 3 amazing trees: Theravada, Mahāyāna, Vajrayāna. All 3 grew from the same soil, nurtured in the same sunlight. All 3 are bearing the fruits of the same deep truth even today. A truth that nourishes our soul from within. The question is not which of these paths is right, but the real question is, today, at this very moment, in whose shade does your heart want to sit? Which path brings you inner peace? Which path gives you the strength to understand, change, and awaken deeply? If this video has lit a lamp within you, made you think from a new perspective, or just brought a little peace to your heart, then don't let this lamp remain here. Pass it on to those who are wandering in their darkness right now, who need this true, beautiful guidance. Like the video to keep encouraging us. Tell us in the comments which of these 3 paths attracts you the most, and subscribe to ATD Tales, because we will keep coming back to this channel again and again, for you, with you as a companion, a friend, a guide in this amazing journey of your soul. Remember, true change always begins from within, and on this channel, we will sow the seeds of that change together. So stay connected with ATD Tales, because here every story, every teaching, every video is a small gift for your heart. Thank you for watching the whole video. See you again in the next video. Until then, take care of yourself. Keep the inner lamp lit, and always carry love, compassion, and understanding with you in this beautiful journey.